Anija? No answer. Okay. All right. Hi, Barbara. There you are. Okay. Let's just settle into our meditation space, our posture, and just try and get into, or try and connect with that still place in your mind. This is the stillness that is always there and available to you. We just somehow don't think we can access it. So doing these meditations, we're kind of training ourselves to get in touch with this stillness that's available to us, that's within all of us. It's who you are, who you've always been. And hopefully, also this is what I was trying to do with our meditations on Sunday, is to be able to get in touch with that place, that space, regardless of where you are, whether you are walking down the street, whether you're making dinner, whether you're shopping, that you can still have this kind of pool of stillness inside you, rather than feeling like we're in a panic all the time. So check your posture. If you are sitting on a chair with the feet down, have the feet flat on the floor in a parallel position, sits bones are raised. And then it's helpful to have the hands in the meditation mudra, which is the right hand nestled in the left, but doesn't have to be if that's not comfortable for you or not familiar. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the top of the head and beyond. So while you're imagining that, you can just think that your spine is actually lengthening. You know, throughout the day, as we're pounding down, particularly as we get older, the disc, so the fluid in between the disc kind of gets a little bit squashed down. And as we sleep at night, it expands again. So just it's good to sort of stretch out your back during the day. Also, just sitting here very gently, lengthening, aligning the shoulders over the hips, the ears with the shoulders if possible. Just imagine all the muscles along the back are lengthening. So we're just getting a little bit taller. As we get older, gravity takes over and we start slowly to hunch over. It's not great for the health. It's not also great for the brain or the memory. So keeping upright is a very good habit to get into. The head is very slightly tipped forward. You're hinging from the back of the neck. Eyes are down, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. So let's just bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the nose and the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And bring your attention to the back of your head and relax your scalp there. And your ears, the inner ear. Relax your temples, back of the tongue and the jaw, back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest and the belly, and all your limbs and your appendages. And bring the mind to the breath, just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And just if you're hearing any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to let them distract you. Try not to run off and investigate with your mind. Just bring the mind back to the breath. And just notice what thoughts might be arising. And try not to get engaged with them or have opinions or criticize yourself, or just allow the thoughts to arise and just observe them with just a level of curiosity. It's interesting. Oh, some jealousy there. Wow, that's interesting. So rather than having an opinion about it, you're just curious. And then let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. So the people we love, we have a lot of love for. These people that we are in deep and profound relationships with, our spouses and children, friends, your best friends, those ones you've known for a long time or even not a long time. Then there's people in our life who are a little bit difficult. And then there's those people in our life who are complete strangers. It's always good to remember that they could change place at any time, the friend, the enemy, the stranger. And maybe this has been the case for you. They're also equal, all of these people, just the same as you in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. And everybody has this incredible capacity for enlightenment, to have this amazing potential. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so we can change it by creating positivity with our mind instead. So we start this practice with this practice is the Vajrasattva in the context of the 4 opponent powers. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, just regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we don't know when that suffering is going to arise or when that problem is going to arise. So logically, it makes sense that we would pull out remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, our delusions, basically. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And so we're not asking Buddha to forgive us, Vajrasattva. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine that this Vajrasattva is actually the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long, shaped like lotus petals, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. There's a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell. And this bell represents, wisdom. And the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. That's enlightenment itself. to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, and then in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then try and think about those who have harmed you, and particularly have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've caused you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And so we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva, he's on the crown of your head, facing the same way as you, this body of white light. And he's sending very compassionately, very happily, powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So next is a purification of our speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra and arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So every single syllable that falls out of your mouth is of benefit to another. And that you have the wisdom to know what to say at the right time that will be a benefit to another person's mind, will help them in their life. So next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just think of it the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch. The light instantly dispels the darkness. So we always think that we're just turning on the light, but actually we're dispelling darkness. So think of it that way when you imagine Vajrasattva as sending light into your heart. And the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, it dispels all the negativity of the mind. So all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy and bitterness, all instantly dispelled, not one item left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your suffering and the cause of all of us, of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. They're gone. And think now, there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time you can imagine that Vajrasattva is sending light and nectar again, and it fills you completely, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So now imagine you're completely purified. No, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So just imagine even the subtlest obscurations to your omniscience have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve. This is a really crucial step in this purification process, is because before we can do anything, we need to make a decision that that's what we want to do. So we're making a determination here to try and refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So without this determination, we're just going to keep repeating the same old things over and over again. Gossiping, eating too much, whatever it is we do. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm, this becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So think of something that you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Give yourself a reasonable timeline, whether it's a few seconds, a few minutes, or maybe just overnight while you're sleeping. So make a vow to yourself, I'm going to refrain from such and such a thing for this amount of time, and then stick to it. And then gradually over time, you can increase it. Before you know what, all those neural pathways of harm will have atrophied and you'll stop doing that particular habit. That just takes time. You have to be patient, but it's very practical. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you can think my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So let's, as Rinpoche recommends, meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little moment. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. Think of them as things are a bunch of causes and conditions, dependent arisings. And you can think that things don't exist from their own side. And you can also think that maybe the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings. And we can think perhaps of Geshe Cherub's father who passed away, I don't know, a day or so ago. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O tup shu chang shin jam gon gyalaway, Tenzin kyang pelaway, kunza dog porze, chog sum kurwe leg mon tu drub, ha dog sog dulje, gondu jab ten shok. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Cherub, a beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Sleep well. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And thank you for hosting, and thanks for our bouncers.